All right, all right, all right. Whoa, what show is this? I guess we're back, right? We're back. This is Ground Zero Florida. Oh my God. It was our flagship podcast for a while until Jimmy Alfant decided to take from the margins and just knock it out of the park. Hey, I'm David Washington, and I am your host of Ground Zero Florida. Everything about Florida and then some. And what I want to talk about, that title that you see, maximum warfare everywhere all the time. That is a freaking quote. That is a quote from a Republican strategist who said, hey, we don't know what the Democrats are doing, the opposition, but we're coming out there and we're going to kick ass and take names. And, you know, I, I've been in and out of this business for 35 plus years, politics between Florida and Chicago and back. And in Chicago, I learned that politics is a blood sport. It's a blood sport. And it's serious because people's lives are at stake. And regardless of where you are on the political spectrum, you will want the best for your communities. And so you will fight hard. People die for their political beliefs, for what they believe is important for their communities. They took it seriously. What happened? What happened over time? I think it's because we got fatter and richer. I I remember, listening to my grandma talking about how Black people struggle to attain respectability, whether socially, economically, respectability as people, as equal citizens. In the marches, Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, the Black Panthers, all these organizations coming together. The 3 young men, college students who went down to Mississippi and lost their lives. The young people sitting at the Southern diner counter looking to be served. Where is that now? I see these fat-headed local politicians with their faces in their phones, looking all tough and a lot of talk. They later go home to their comfortable homes, their loving families. They get there in their nice big cars, get up the next day in their nice suits, their nice dresses, and out there in their outrage. But I see them doing some stupid ass TikTok. I see another group photo. Oh, we're out there fighting for your illegal immigrant rights. Another group photo. However, on the other end of the political spectrum, I see an attitude, a no holds bar attitude, as demonstrated by this title of this episode, that the far right, or no, let me check that. Republicans, some conservatives, some folks on the far right are taking civic engagement to a whole different level. MAGA is the law of the land. I use quotes, air quotes for that. I see how the Democrats fled Texas again for 15 days and then scurried back to Texas only to have the legislation that they were protesting and stating that they were going to fight to the end to prevent, the legislation allowing Texas to redistrict their congressional districts passed. See, Galvin Newsom's Twitter account, his X account, being what, the imitation, a low grade imitation of President Trump's X account. Again, see these silly dancing and memes and pretentious outrage. Scurrying down to Alligator Alcatraz. Allegedly, someone's being mistreated, no due process. And then your opposition posts on social media, well, the guy that you're claiming to have made these accusations, not someone you really want to promote. A murderer, person who assaults people. And then how about Hardinger Singh? Hopefully I pronounced his name correctly. You know where I'm going with this one, right? If you don't, that's unfortunate. You're not keeping up. The truck driver who made an illegal U-turn on the Florida Turnpike just outside of St. Lucie, which caused a minivan, SUV, a vehicle carrying 3 people to slam into the trailer, causing their deaths. Mr. Singh should not have been driving a truck. Period. Mr. Singh should not have had a CDL, commercial driver's license. There had been several opportunities in his timeline. If people were doing their job, would have prevented him from being behind the wheel of that truck. And now 3 innocent lives are gone. But I got my representatives, Maxwell Frost and Carlos Guillermo Smith, with their faces in their phones, telling me from Alligator Alcatraz, we need to protect their rights. Right. Y'all tone deaf. No wonder many people, we are fleeing the Democratic Party. Again, I left the Florida Democratic Party several months ago. I really tried to work with them. I really did. And again, would you want to be among people who celebrate you and not just tolerate you? That was my situation. And it appears that the lesson still has not been learned by the Democrats. Check out my stories about my friend Alfonso. I did 2 episodes with Alfonso in the title, so check those out. And you'll get some background on this whole immigration issue and my stance on it. But I can tell you right now, in the New York Times recent expose on Democrats leaving the party, Democrats shedding more and more people, Democrats disconnected from more and more men, a dying party. And of course, you'll have, spots on the map, blue dots on the map where there's more Democrats than Republicans or non-party affiliates, mostly in cities. But man, if the Democrat Party is not on its deathbed, it's got one foot in the grave. And y'all ain't listening because you guys don't want to listen. You really don't. Because you guys want to play the victim all the time. It's getting tired. And if you disagree, let's have a conversation. When you're invited to be on the show, don't tell me, why should I? Why? Because I'm your constituent, jackass. And you know who I'm talking to, the three of you. So let's have a conversation. Let's have a conversation. Record it. Maybe we all can learn something. Maybe we all can benefit. Maybe you'll be successful in bringing someone back to the party. I doubt it, because life is really good being an independent thinker and actually acting independently. But never say never, right? We'll see you the next time. You know how to reach me. I'm David Washington. This is Ground Zero Florida. I'd love to hear what you have to say. Let's set aside our feelings. We all got feelings, but however, feelings are not factual. Like, share, hit the notification button. Again, comment. Share this with those friends and family that you care about, those influencers out there in the community, candidates and electeds. And you know which electeds? All of them. Share this with them. And maybe we all can learn something and have a tactful, respectful conversation, okay? Thank you. God bless. Love you. We're out.